Hey everybody, it's Kate Richburg. It is Wednesday, April 16th, and I am live for Beadshop Live. How are you all? It is great to see you. Gosh, it looks like all of you are chatting. Wow, that's awesome. I know a lot of you are chatting about the Great Bead Extravaganza this past weekend. Wasn't it amazing? Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And the photos, I don't know if anyone did the Ask Me Anything or watched the Ask Me Anything with everybody, but boy, it looked super fun. I was finishing a class in this shirt actually that I made. It's a me-made shirt. Let me see. I'll tell you a little bit about what I did on the rest of my weekend. I don't know. Can you see it? Isn't it cute, right? It is my friend Laura Wheeler came up with this pattern. What she does is, and it was with my Fresno Fiber Arts Guild. So if you're in Fresno and you are all about coming to the Fiber Arts Guild meeting in March, we are having it's called a Fiber Festival. It's actually like the signups for next year's classes and everything. And if you know, so some of you know, from the bead world, my friend Marcia DeCoster. And if you know Marcia, you know that she's taught at Bead and Button. She's taught at Bead Fest. She taught for many, many years in the bead world. Well, she also happens to belong to our Fiber Guild, and I sew with her actually, with my sewing group when we meet once a week, or once a year, not once a week. I wish. But anyway, she's coming to the Fresno Fiber Arts Guild to teach a class. She's teaching a seed beading class with a kit that she's pulled together. So it's really going to be fantastic. So all of those signups start in May for those. So if you're somewhere near in California, Fiber Arts Guild is great. We have a great lineup of other instructors as well. I'm teaching a bag class. There's some other things, but my buddy Laura Wheeler did this. And so you can see, let me kind of move this down. So what you do is you take 4 men's shirts, right? And you reconfigure. So this is a men's shirt. This is a men's shirt. This front is a men's shirt. And this side is a men's shirt. And it's kind of fun, right? It's like you're grabbing the patriarchy and reforming it, right? Using those shirts. And then let me show you the back here. I did some embroidery stuff on it. And then I don't know if you can see that, but I put kind of that crane or whatever on the back. I've got a few more. I'm going to put some buttons, some fancier buttons. I did some top stitching with green here. So I've got some vintage green buttons that I'm going to put up. So it was really, really fun to do. And Deborah, no, I actually didn't take Chris's shirts, but I could have. But Chris is also all about smashing the patriarchy and wearing their shirts. So yeah, so it was fun. So we had a good time. But she did such a fantastic class, and she talked about what we did was we talked about fit, and she calls it the Whizzy Whack method of sewing, where you just kind of measure and cut and stuff. And it was really, really fun. We had such a great time. It's putting me in mind of my upcoming France trip. That's coming in the end of June. We still have one space. It's full, but we could put one more person in there, right? I contacted our dyer. We're going to be doing some woad dyeing with a world famous woad dyer. She was just in the New York Times. It is this. Let me put this in there. I was super excited. I have to tell those of you who are coming to France with me, you don't even know this yet. I'm emailing this out to you, but this is a story about the woman who I'm going to learn from for dyeing. I put it in the comments. I'm super excited because I want to be able to share, I do some indigo dyeing myself, which I love. It's a lot of fun. So maybe that'll be like a fun Zoom class that we could do. I'm also really seriously thinking about our Fresno retreat for next year. This was such a fun class, and it would be so great to have Laura come teach this for you. We could do like a beading thing and a sewing thing. So I'm thinking about it. This was really great because the sewing that you did was fairly minimal, and she really has it down. Her instructions were great. So it was a lot of fun. So I really got a creative infusion from this weekend. And I hope that you all also got a creative infusion from this weekend. I want to extend a personal thank you to each of you who watched and each of you who supported all of our small companies during this great bead extravaganza. It was so much fun for us. Miranda has just finished labeling all the product, and we're starting to send all that out. So you'll be getting your great bead extravaganza orders soon. But it was such the vibe was great. Everything was great. So thank you so, so much. And we're getting ready to think about summer, right? Yeah, I like these striped sleeves. So what I did was I went to the thrift. We have a lot of really great thrift stores here in Fresno. And I happened to stumble upon like all blue tags were $1 a day. So each of these shirts, these 4 men shirts, cost me $1 each. So it was a great upcycling project. It was really fun. As I say, I've got vintage buttons to put over the top and stuff. So it was fun. So if you're inclined, reuse, upcycle, recreate. It was a lot of fun, and it really filled my creative well. I hope today what I do for you refills your creative well. We're going to keep going on that high that we did from the weekend. And Sherry, thank you so much. TGBE was a shot of happiness. I'll tell you what, it was a shot of happiness for me as well. Everyone who is a part of the Great Bead Extravaganza, and I'm so lucky to be a part of it. We've all been friends for forever, right? We've been teaching classes together. We've been doing shows together. Some of us even used to, room together, right, during the shows. Because when you're young and poor, you're like, how many of us can we put into a hotel room? It was a lot of fun. So coming together virtually 4 times a year, and putting our heads together and doing our very, very best to bring really great content to all of you out there was a lot of fun. And also I wanted to give a big thank you to our special guest, Francesca Watson from the Macremé. If you haven't watched Francesca's, if you didn't get a chance to watch her metalsmithing segment, it's over on the TGBE YouTube channel. You can go and take a look at that. And Francesca really shared some really fantastic metalsmithing content. It was really inspiring to me as well. I love it. I see so many of you. Some are watching from, let's see, the comments are coming in so fast. I love it. St. Joseph, Missouri. Missouri is here. I see that NorCal is here. Love. And let me see. I saw somebody else was shouting out. I think South Carolina, one of the Carolinas. I'm sorry. I love it. And Linda, you have an old woad tattoo. I love that. Is it of the woad plant? I love that. I love that. And that is true. My mom is saying I used to wear my grandpa's jackets. It's true. The year my grandpa died, I was a sophomore in high school. And so I wore my grandpa's clothes to school every year. And since I still have some of my grandpa's jackets that I still wear. Right. So yeah, I love restyling menswear for sure. Ma, I hope you're doing well. I'll check in with you a little bit later. Let's see. Oh, I love it. Wales, UK. Hello. One of the most beautiful places on earth. So beautiful. I love it that everybody's given a roll call. I love it. I love it. Love, love, love. Oh, and Comic-Con was this weekend. That's awesome. Comic-Con very near the Natural History Museum where my bestie Christine works. Love it. And yes, Francesca is hilarious and she is a great human being. So, it was really great for her, to have. It was really fun. You know, Francesca and I should do, like a group, you know, she broadcasts to her group and I broadcast to my group and we should do some creating. She just is just really, really, fun and a wonderful person. Okay. Love it. Margaret Sloan, I don't doubt it. An old rayon gabardine men's jacket, rolled up the sleeves. That's right. That's why I always have my sleeves rolled up. So fun. My other high school bestie, Susan, and I, we would go to the Goodwill in Gilroy. It was actually the Salvation Army in Gilroy, down by 10th Street. Not that any of you need to know that detail, but the lady there, you know, in the 80s, I was the only person in Gilroy who was wearing like vintage and stuff then. So she would always save for me. Like if anything really good and vintage came in, she would save it for me. And I still have some of my vintage from the 80s that I got at the Salvation Army from Gilroy. But my friend Sue and I would get men's jackets and we would like embroider on the back and do all kinds of fun stuff with them. So yeah, I think reusing, recycling, reclaiming, all of that is fantastic. I don't know what my hair, I keep seeing like this piece of hair sticking up in the back. But that was fun. So you know what? Reclaim it, right? Reclaim it. Yeah, the Fresno retreat, it should have some metalsmithing. It should have some sewing. It should have a lot of really good eating, right? That will be fun. That's for next year. That's for 2026 me to deal with. All right. So, that is that. Yep, that was you on Melrose in the 80s. Sherry, you and my husband, I bet you and Chris probably crossed paths there. You know, if you saw someone who had crazy, wild, super tall, blonde punk rock hair and worked at a record store, though that was half the boys in the 80s, I think, down on Melrose. But yeah, for sure. Love it. Good times. All right. So let me show you what we're doing today. First of all, you folks are taking advantage of two things, which is awesome. We launched some new check glass today, right? Janice got in this really fantastic collection. It's up on the website in Just In. I have it here to show you. And also I put Chinese knotting cord on sale today. I marked it down 10%. So if you couple it with our Bloom 10 discount, you'll get a great discount on a 20% discount. So that I'm going to be using the CKC in 0.4 today. But it's time to stock up because we're going to do this Bollywood earring. It's also great for the Bollywood bracelet stacks, which is fantastic. So let me show you what we've got here. Here's that, just as a reminder for the one-day sale. No coupon needed. All of the Chinese knotting cord, it's already marked down 10%. It expires tonight. Today's the 16th for $16.25. It expires at midnight Pacific time. Okay, so that goes until then. So now is the time to stock up on that. And then the new, let me add this to the stage here. The new check glass is here as well. So let me highlight this. I mean, I could talk clothing and fashion and 80s stuff and everything. No, repeat vintage. Margaret Sloan, you and I are a sister from another mister. I love it. So Margaret lived in Ashland for a while and did a lot of acting and stuff there. Repeat vintage. I have clothes from Repeat Vintage. That was one of the best vintage stores. I got some jackets there. I have a dress from there that I love. Oh my gosh, isn't that hilarious? Repeat vintage. I feel like maybe we've talked about this before. I don't know. Or maybe it's just deja vu. But it was, I loved that place because we would go to Ashland every summer, make the road trip and stuff, you know, love it. Okay. So I love it. I love it. Joanne's been doing her laundry. I love it that everybody is like multitasking today. So awesome. So let me show you. This is what we're going to be doing in a second, but let me move this over. Let me show you some of the new check that we got in. Janice did a great job of pulling together this really great kind of color palette. It's a little messy, but you know, here on my pad, but look at how nice the blues look, right? We've got some 6, we've got some 4, and we've got some 3, okay, down here. And it comes, we've got some reds, we've got some blues. We finally got it in the metallic mix, which is everyone's favorite, right? Metallic mix is so good. We also got it in kind of this indigo blue. This one's called, let me see what this one's called. This one is a 3mm and it's loading. It is the metallic indigo iris. So good, this color, right? And then we have it. This is the maroon. This is the red luster. This one is the fuchsia luster. I'm using it in the project. Look at how beautiful that is, right? So, we didn't get any 8/0s or any 8mm, but we'll get some more 8mm, because I love the fire polish, definitely in the larger ones. This is the 6mm that Janice is using in her upcoming project. This one is the champagne and sea green with Picasso finish. Janice will be getting more of these in, but if you want to jump in and grab this one, this is what she's using in her project. I love it. So this is a really fun, warm and cool palette. So I'm going to pull all of these aside and let me show you the project I'm going to be doing with this. Okay. So these are all in Just In. Let me put these aside. But I think they just look, I mean, look at how they look all together. It's really great, kind of warm and cool kind of mixture to it. They really are awesome. So let me show you. So here's the earring. And I wanted to do something in the macrame realm for a while. And we have some Bollywood earrings up on the site, and I thought it was time for a refresher. Now, the thing is I am not the world's best macrameer, okay? So I'm just jumping in and showing you what I'm doing, okay? And I think you'll be able to recreate it, because if I can do it, you folks can do it. Sorry, this didn't look quite this linty, but let me show you kind of the color choices and where I'm going with all of this. Okay. So I am using on this side, on this red one, I'm using the fuchsia, the red gold luster, and I'm going to use the 3mm in the maroon. Okay. Then I thought I would do them on the 40mm hoops, okay, which are here. Now, I also was thinking about another colorway, and I'll list all of these right after the show, because I wasn't sure if I was going to add or take away or what. So I'll add everything. So here's this one, okay? And then the Chinese knotting cord that I'm using, I'm using 0.4mm, though you could also use Ceylon in regular. I am using here in 0.4, I'm using geisha and I'm using peony. Okay, here's these colors. But you could use any colors you wanted. But I thought that the red, let me zoom in just a little bit. I thought that the red, I was worried that would be kind of a weird outlier, but I think it actually works out pretty well, right? All of these tones together. Then I thought if I was going to make a blue one or a different color to give you a different kind of colorway look, I pulled two other, let me get my, there we go. I pulled two other colors, blue gray and the bright turquoise. And I thought those would really go well. Again, these are the 40 millimeter hoops. I thought they would look great with the rainbow hoops, right? With the 3 mil. This is, we've got two 4 millimeters that are indigo based. One is this one, I'll show you. Indigo and transparent, this one. This one is the same bead, but it's indigo and transparent with a matte silver finish. So it makes the beads look very different. Okay, let me zoom. That's the one with the silver finish. That's the regular right there. Okay. So, oh, and wax linen. Thanks, Kim Crawford. Yes, you could also do this with wax linen. 100% you could, right? 100%. So I thought I would use this Pacific blue, this sage green, and this indigo, this metallic right here. I think that would also make a really great color story. I'm not sure if I'm going to use a 6 mil. I might. So I've got a 6 millimeter. That's Halo Cardinal. And this is, I think that's also the indigo right there. Okay. So maybe, I'm not sure because I haven't gotten that far yet. I am using the 0.4 millimeter Chinese knotting cord right here. You could use 5, I think, but with the sizes of the beads and stuff, I wanted the cord to be a little more delicate. Okay. So I went with 0.4. Now, let me show you this earring. And let me be completely honest with you. I was going to work on this yesterday, but we were putting up new product. I was putting things away from the great bead, and I was just I'm just too tired to even start on this project. So this morning I got up early and I'm like, well, I can't put it off. I've got to figure out how to do this. So I did this morning before the show. So it's going pretty quickly. I'm going to show you how I do this row, and then we're going to start on the second one, and I'll show you how to do this. It's not hard to do at all. Okay, this is basically just, we add our strands onto this hoop and we macrame down, adding beads where we want. So it's not difficult, and they're also really light. Okay, so, and you can kind of move these around. This side is mirroring this side, so we'll play around with this a little bit. Okay, so I completed this side, or did this side first. Okay, macrame this side on. Then I started to mirror it over here. So I need to get this with this second row on, and then we'll figure out what we're doing next. So let me tell you, I made a couple of mistakes that I want to tell you about. So you won't do them when you're doing yours. So I started, there are I need to hold this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lengths of the peony, 6 lengths cut doubled over and a lark's head knot tied around this base of the earring, and then 3 of the geisha. Okay. The first ones that I cut them too short, right? Because I wasn't thinking about knotting all the way across or whatever. So these are going to be too short, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to show you how I add cord to them. So it's not the end of the world. But this time when I cut them for this side, what I did was I cut them 28 inches long, the length of my box here. And that gave me a lot to work with. So you want to cut at least 3 lengths. You might as well make them 30 inches, but 28 is about right. 28, 3 of the geisha, 6 of the peony. And I'm going to show you how I cut those and attach them to this hoop. We're going to do that in a minute. Okay. I know. I also kind of like the fringe and the tails of this cord, Margaret, as well. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to finish this off yet, but we'll figure it out together. Okay. So what I did was just to kind of backtrack, and you can see I've just put a piece of CKC, or Ceylon rather, lark's headed it around this hoop and clipped it on. So this is tight against the board. And then what I did was I did lark's head knots all the way across. And then I started from this side, did just 1 row of knots across. And then I started putting on a 4 mil, skipping 1, putting on a 4 mil, skipping 1. Okay. So it looks like, so it's got a little more room. All 4 millimeter, one next to the other would just be too tight, right? It needed a little bit of room. So I did that for 2 rows. Now I'm coming over here. I did this row opposite direction, coming from the left, or from the right to the left instead of from the left to the right. I put on my plain rows here of cord, did my knots, and now I'm going to do my row of beads. And I'm going to backtrack it. Okay, so you see this, but let me complete this one. So what I've done here is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I'm going to tie off this first strand here. So we're going to take this first strand, is always our working strand, across, right? So I'm going to come in. I hold this one tightly in my hand, and I just make my half hitch once and twice and up. Okay, so that gives me also kind of my little taper to the inside there. Okay, so now I'm going to put on my first bead here. And I want to make sure that this matches. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. Yeah, okay, great. So I'm going to put on my 4 millimeter on the one I'm tying around, right? See how that's coming out of there? Then I'm taking the thread that I tied around previously. I'm going to put it to the back, continue tying with the same thread, and we're going to go under once and twice. And I know this might be a little confusing, but it will all become clear when I do a little bit of backtracking. Okay, so there's my first tie. Did I do this? Hang on. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I don't know what. For a moment, I was overthinking. Sorry. So now I'm going to continue. I'm going to tie this one around. once and twice. That's the row, that's the one I'm skipping. Secret to really nice knots is to keep the thread that you're tying around, keep it nice and taut as you're tying, right? So now we move to the next one. We put a bead on this one. Make sure I've got the right color. Slide it on and tie my 2 half hitches below. There's 1 and here's 2. Okay, so now all of these threads are going to the side. I'm picking up this next one. This is a plain one. Hold it straight. I always have a little trouble with the right hand side of this because I want to do it wrong. I want to tie the wrong thread around my tying thread instead of the right way. So I kind of have to think about it. Here's my next plain one, right? So I slide this up, hold it tightly once and twice. It does kind of have a butterfly wing kind of feel to it. It really does. Now we'll do this one plain, no bead on it. Here and here. And we'll do one more red on this one. I wanted a little bit of a color shift. Okay, so I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then there's 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side, right? So that the purple kind of comes in the center, right? I love this red too, JP. It does kind of have a carnelian flare to it. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but it does have a nice gold flash to it. These earrings are very La Maestra Frida. They are very kind of Frida Kahlo feeling. You know, springtime comes and I am ready to wear big earrings. I'm ready to wear big earrings all the time, but you know what I mean. It's big earring weather for sure. So now I'm going to move into the purple, do my purple one, and see how, can you see this? I wanted to point this out. When I'm doing this next row, how the beads are offset, right? So I've come around here, right? Then my next bead lines up with the plain strand there, and then the bead is on. This one where the bead is on, it's a plain strand. So they've offset each other so the beads fit nicely. So Tina, that's exactly right. I'm just doing half hitches. That's it, right? So there's my first half hitch, and I come in and I lock it in with the second half hitch up at the top. And see, I just stop it there so there's a little bit of room there. And trust me, I am no gifted macrame expert for sure. So this could not be easier. So we slide one on this plain strand, right? Slide it all the way up so it nestles. Now I get my tying thread. This tying thread has been the same all the way across. I just hold this tight, make my loop, pass it under, and go once, and pass it under, and go twice, right? That's it. Put that one aside. This one is just plain. These strands are kind of getting in my way. There we go. This one is just a plain one coming out of the bead up there. Hold it tight, half hitch it once, half hitch it twice. Okay. Next, I am ready for a bead, and try and keep these in order. I was having a little bit of trouble. Sometimes I would switch mine, especially when I was starting. So just make sure that your threads are flat in the right order so you don't mix those up. But if you do, just keep going. You won't really notice. It'll kind of regulate itself. So there's that. Now I skip one. And see, this has kind of shifted my work since it's kind of going down in this V pattern anyway. It's kind of shifted the work. I'm going to come in. This is all on this side. This is all on this. I'm going to clip this together over here so it. Yeah, it does. It's very flamenco. I feel like it's very flamenco dancer. Yeah, I'm so in. So in with this. So here's my last one. Let me put on my bead. Yeah, and Sarah, people definitely like anchor these with like T-pins and stuff like that. You could get the macrame board, do this on the macrame board, whatever works for you. To be honest, I just kind of jumped into this morning, so I didn't do anything that was too fancy. But I know 100% that there are some of you who are much more skilled with your macrame than I am. So yeah, work however you want to work it, is great. Oh, I also just got coffee on my new shirt. Perfect. Good job me. That's all right. That's what a shout pen is for, right? I can't be trusted with coffee or a light colored shirt. I'll just put an embroidery patch over it. Here's this, and here's this. So here's the last one. And now I finish up. I think I finished with bringing this one down. Is that what I did? I did. I brought this one down and tied it off. Okay, so then we're going to take a look at what we've got. Okay. Okay. So this is where we are. And I've got these threads kind of all meet in the center. So I have to figure out, probably I'll just tie those together. I was wondering what I was going to do, like how much further or how much longer I wanted to make this. I think what I'm going to do is I need to come in and make this match. See how I did another plain row down there? So let me do that so this matches completely. What did I lose, Miranda?
Oh, I'm looking for your stuff.
Oh, Miranda's going into my stash. So let me just do this real quick. This is just a plain row all the way across. 1 and 2. Hold that one tightly. Go to the next. Then I'll also show you how I added thread. 2. Keep going, pick this up. 1 and 2. I don't know if any of you ever, when I had my store in the Mission in San Francisco, we had this amazing Spanish tapas restaurant. They had a couple of them. They still might be there. I haven't been up there in forever, but it was called Esperpentu, and they would have flamenco dancers on the weekends. It was really, really fun. Nothing like going to It was super traditional tapas, and they would have flamenco, and it was fun. So fun. So now here's this one, and this just kind of locks everything into place. And see how I've got those 2 rows. I could have done 3 rows in between. Doesn't really matter if you wanted a little bit more spacing. Since these were earrings and since these were 4mm, I was worried about getting them a little too long, but just experiment. You're not investing a whole lot of time into these, right? I mean, it takes a little bit of time, but it's not like it's taking days, right? You're not knitting a sweater. So see how I'm bringing each of those strands up, coming up here, and then moving across. Janice, we did talk about pins. And you certainly can use pins. I'm a little probably more freeform than most when it comes to macrame like this, so I'm not really worrying about it. But if you are more of a macrame master than I am, which I think probably all of you who are watching this are more of a macrame master than I am, use your pins, use whatever works for you. Okay? Doesn't matter. And I'm using the 0.4 CKC, or Chinese knotting cord. Okay, we'll bring this one here like that. And then I think I've got this single right here that I need to do. Okay. So there we have it. So I have these 2 center cords. So I need to decide what's going to happen here, right? So maybe let me just tie these 2 center cords together and see what I've got. 1, and 2. Is that tight enough? That actually isn't quite even, and of course I pulled it tight. And of course I've got diamond glaze on the tips of these from this weekend. I should have taken my own advice. What do I tell you when you see that your knot isn't knotting in the right place? Don't pull it tight. Remember how I told you that? What did I do? I pulled it tight. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to. So let me show you here. This is a good part. See here how I added a cord onto this one to make this longer. See how the 2 that I tied together, see how this one's nice and long and this one's just too short? I think I need a longer cord here. So let me show you what I did. I'm going to do another length on my board. And I hold these 2 together. And I'm going to come in with my thread burner. And since this is Chinese knotting cord, I'm going to mushroom them so they melt together. Kind of move the thread burner kind of back and forth over the top so they meld. And now I check it, and I really pull it like this to make sure that they're connected, and they are. Okay, so now, and then my bead will just pop over this. This will never notice. The second color, JP, these are all new ones. This one is Fuchsia Luster. That's this one. And this is Ruby Red with gold finish. These are both new in the just-in. So now I'm going to come down. I really wanted this knot to be more in the middle, but I'm going to ignore it because I don't have that kind of time in my life. I think I'm going to bring in, I'm going to see what a 6 millimeter is going to look like. This is that Halo Cardinal. So let's see what happens. Okay. And then I promise you, I'm going to backtrack. This isn't the best way to teach this, but that's what we've got. So I'll backtrack to show you the beginning. This single, I think I can get 2 of the singles in there. If not, I can always get a needle, or I can stiffen this with some zap. But let me just, I will get a needle, but it'll make me, let me see. I think I've got some collapsible eye needles here. Let me get my hands on them. Let me just try one more time. If I trim that out. If not, I'll get the needle. Come on, there it goes. I'm the boss of you, bead. There we go. So let's slide this one up to the center. This is where I added that. I thought it would go over. It did, but it broke off. So let me I'm going to put this on, and then I'll connect it. I'll connect it underneath. Hold, please. Let's just pretend that never happened. And let me get the needle, and let me backtrack. That's why I do this live. So when I screw up, you won't make these mistakes. Let me get my beading needle. Hang on a second. My beading needles are here. Here they are. Let me get these, and let me just get this. These are extra fine. What I really want are fine, but that's what I'm going to go with, because that's what I see here, unless these, medium. I'll take a medium. Here we go. All right. First of all, what you're going to do is you're not going to screw up and cut your threads too short, right? Because I've already made that screw up for you. So let me do this. This one's on. This one is not. Let me put this through, and then I will cauterize it again and connect it. Okay, see, there we go. So that is there in the center. See that? Now, let me get that piece of thread. Where did it go? I think it dropped on the floor, maybe. There it is. I'm going to put this needle aside because I'm going to need it again. This needle I'm putting in that cup. Okay. So remind me, that's where it is. Now let me reattach these two. I'm going to clip them. I'm going to get my thread burner. We're going to hold those tight together. And we're going to melt these two ends. And what I kind of do is I kind of shove those ends together. And then I kind of smush it like that. And then you can see, whoops, that one didn't go. I think I didn't let it sit long enough. My first one went really well. Now the wheels are falling off the cart, but bear with me here just a second. Here we go, like this and like this. Get it together. Get it nice and mushroomed down. Let it cool. Don't be too eager. There we go. That's good. See that there? That's not going anywhere. All right. So now, this is underneath, and we're going to pretend that that's in the center. I don't think I can loosen that. I'm going to give it just one more college try. If I can't loosen it, then I'll move forward, but you know how I am. I get kind of fixated going, oh, that stitch just isn't right. And your knot untying skills need to be as good as your tying skills. But remember, learn from me. If you know that knot isn't going to seat exactly where you want it, don't tighten it. When am I going to take my own advice? There we go. I think that loosened. Yes. And don't use your good pearl knotting tweezers with your diamond glaze, or at least wipe them off. There we go. Okay, that is tight. Now let me tighten it here so it's in the middle. And then that bead will sit nice and even in the center. Okay, that one and that one. There we go. And see how that's more in the center now? Okay. Whew. All right. Okay. Now, I've got these two threads. So I'm going to tie these together below that. There we go. That's looking good. I think I should add another one of those big ones right there. What do you think? Let's see. What I'm going to do is, where that attached, I'm going to be smart about it this time. I'm going to slide up this one. Oh, let me get the needle. Whoops, that one dropped on the floor. It's all right. Let me get the needle. Slide that one through. There we go. And let me put the needle on the other one. Slide this through. Okay. Hmm. I think maybe I'll just bring these around. Maybe I can do this. This is what I'm going to do. Here. This one that's here. This is my straight one down. So I'm going to do my half hitch, or my half hitch there once, my half hitch there twice, right? That kind of brings it around and holds it there. Can you see that? And then this one, this is the one I'm tying around, the one that's coming out of the bead. That's kind of straight, so I'll do that. Same thing, we're just mirroring. Now I've got all of these threads here, like this. And I'm going to hold it here for a second. You know what I probably should have done with this center thread was tied it there, and then I should have brought them from underneath and tied them around, but that's okay. It'll stay in place once I knot it below. Okay. Can we see that? Okay. I know, I like these big beads down the center too. So now I'm going to let this simmer for a second. Okay. Because we're here. Okay. So let me get the plain hoop and let me take you back. All right. Debbie, that's a funny question. And it is true. Sometimes when I am beading, or especially if I'm making a project that I'm going to be doing on air, I will kind of talk myself through it. Right? So I know what I'm doing. Let me put this one. I'm going to move that over there for the moment. Let me get my other hoop. And I'm going to get some Ceylon. Yeah, totally, Margaret. It's like rehearsal, right? I go over it in my head. Let me get my Ceylon so I can attach it to the board. And I just cut myself a little piece here. I'm going to bring it around. See right there where there's like that little stopper. So it kind of holds this from scooting off. And I'm going to clip it with the clamper. Okay. So now what I did with this when I started, I just did one side. So I wasn't like dealing with all these threads at one time. So I'm just going to put one side. I think I'll do this side because I started on the right and then I did the left. So, Alita, this is a great question. I think what you're going to do, this is going to be mirrored. So it's going to be the same on both sides. But let's say that maybe you are making this curve that goes all the way across, maybe, or, you were definitely making them a right and the left, then you might, have to be aware of that. But this, it's symmetrical, it's mirrored, so you don't need to worry. There will be a front in the back. This is the front, and then if you turn it around, you can see that the knots look a little bit different on the back. So what I am doing is, see how this one, the ear wire is pointing off towards the right, and this ear wire is pointing off towards the left. That's what I've done here, so that the fronts will be showing. So I guess you are doing a right. This one would be the right hand side. This one would be the left hand side, if that makes sense. Okay, thanks for bringing that up. Okay, so I'm going to start this side. I need 6 of this peony, and then 3 of the geisha. And so, yes, thank you. I appreciate you thinking that through. It's just something I kind of do automatically. So, yes. Let me measure. Let me come in, straighten this out. I'll show you how I measured. This box, if we bring my tray across, it's about 14 inches. Okay. So here, what I'll do is I'll get the right color. Here's the peony. And I'll do this twice the length, once and twice. Okay. And I'll come on, I'll slide this with the loop underneath the earring and the strands coming up and through. So there's one. There's one. There's 2. Find the center under the earring. So there's my second one. And make sure that they're even or close to even on the bottoms. 1 and 2. One and 2. Now this is giving you plenty of thread, so I don't know. My shorter length that I cut was just too short. You never, especially when you are improvising, you never really know how much thread you're going to use. So this is 28 inches. Maybe you could make it a little bit shorter. I think you're going to have enough for both earrings. Whoops. This came off. I need to reattach it. And this first line that you put on might be a little loose, right? And so, yeah, all of these strands are about the same length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I need one more, 6. And then I need 3 of the lighter, the geisha color. Okay, so here's that. And this, you can also kind of move around a little bit, right, when you do this. Okay. So then, what you want to do is you want to come in, and I'm going to cut the 3 here. Okay, so let me get the geisha. And I'm going to cut the 3 here. And so what I do sometimes to make it go a little bit faster is I'll go 1 and 2 and cut like that. And then I'll go 1, I'll go 2, and I'll go 3. Okay, like that. Okay, then I'll come in and I'll tie those on. There's 1. And you could do any combination of colors. I just thought that 2 colors look nice, but you can do more than 2 if you want. Why is this getting tangled? Stop. There we go. And now my 3rd one. Okay. Like this. Okay, so this. So I've got my 3. One, 2, 3, and 6 of those. Okay. Then I'll come back, I'll put this other side on, but let me knot all of these across here. Okay, so let me zoom in. Whoops, that's not right. There we go. Get back up here so I can see. There we are. All right. So now I'm just going to start. This is my tying thread, the one that's all the way over to the left. And this is where you have to kind of keep everything lined up. This first one across, right, can be a little confusing. So here we go. This is my tying thread. I'm going to tie it around 1 half hitch and 2 half hitches. Okay, then put that aside. Go to the next one. 1 and 2. I thought about putting some tiny beads up here. I thought about first stringing some 8/0 or even 11/0 on these strands, but I didn't. But you could play around with, you know, putting a bead first and then tying the knot below, right? I think there's endless variations to this. So see, there's now the 3rd one, and we're just going to kind of try and keep them kind of even, kind of looking kind of nice. JP, I think I only need 1 spool of each with the CKC. If you want to do some quick math, the CKC is 20 yards, and I've used 6, 12, I do 24 lengths at 28 inches for 1 spool and 6 lengths at 28 inches for the other spool. If it's not quite enough, then you can shorten that by 1 inch or so. Okay. There's our buddy Gita. Gita, I was just thinking about you because I see you on social. Hi, my friend. Happy Easter, and we miss you too. Gita, friend. Good to see you, my friend. 1 and 2. Okay. And then this one. 1 and 2. Close that knot off. Keep the one that you're tying around, keep it kind of taut as you're going across. That'll make your knots a little more even. But don't get too worried, okay? Just tie your knots. This cord is kind of small, right? So if your knot is a little bit off, it's not the end of the world. But see how let me zoom in a little bit. I know I have my Denmark magnet on my fridge too, for sure. And yes, the 0.5, thank you, Janice, for pointing out. The 0.5 is 10 yards. The 0.4 is 20 yards. So we've got plenty. Okay. So now I'm just going to continue on. I'm going to continue to tie those knots across. One and two. Now this one. One and two. Put that one aside and see how after you do that first row of knots, how these start to kind of, you know, have some space in between. Here, when they're just lark's heads, they want to sit one on top of the other. So this is the one that you really need to kind of take a look and make sure that you're tying them in the right order. So, oh, it's the Queen's birthday today. I love it. I love it, Gita. Well, happy birthday to Queen Margarita. I know that you have made some jewelry for her in the past. I love it. I love it. And Leslie has a good question. When or where do I get my inspo? So let me tell you about this, Leslie. Yesterday, when I was listing all of the new product online, and I'm like, geez, oh, Pete, you know, what? I got to show something with this. What the heck am I going to do? So I went and I actually looked back through our archives, through, you know, past projects, because I'm like, we must have done something with a bunch of check fire polish, right? And I came across the Bollywood earring and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I didn't originally make those, but I think I can figure it out. So I just kind of went from there. And, you know, I always say going live isn't for the faint of heart. I'm just going for it. Right. So yeah. So this is what I'm doing. Kelly, I am going over through like this. And then I think I'm going over through twice, to be honest. And I think I like the way that knot looks. So I think that maybe you're supposed to go over through and then under through, but I'm not. So I think as long as you are consistent, it might make a little bit of difference if the cord is larger. But see how this, I think these knots are sitting okay, like that, right? So, and Dawn, I knew someone would do the math for me. Thank you. Perfect. The peony at 28 inches long will use 18.67 yards. Thank you, my friend, for doing that. Okay. And then let me do this last one. So over, see how I'm doing that one over? And if I come, see, and I go under like that, see how it makes a little bit, the knot looks really close. So I think I'm okay. Okay. I think I'm okay. So here's this first one. And so my tying one, my number 1 strand has now become my number 6 strand. So now what I did was, you can see here, I started with a bead. So let's put on a 4 millimeter. So here, and I want to make sure that I've got enough beads as well. So let's take a look. Okay. And that's right. If I keep going down, thank you, Kelly, see, you folks are much more gifted in the macrame realm. And I'm glad you're thinking this, because if I keep going all the way down fully over, I'm going to get a spiral. That's right. That's correct. But here, since I am just doing these single knots, I don't think it's going to make a difference. Right? Okay. So let's count up real quick our beads. Dawn, get out a pencil. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've used 18 of the red beads over here. Right? 18. So I need to make sure that I have 18 left for this earring. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me get this over there. Go over there. Ah, come on. 2, 4, 6, 8. No. 2, 4, 6, 8. There's all these little beads floating around here. 8. 8. There's the 9th one. 9. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. These are all the beads I need for the second one. Okay. Whoops. Let me zoom out. Sorry about that. Okay. So, right, and there's 50 on this strand. I just want to make sure. So that's there. So that's everything I'll need so far. Now I'm going to split the rest of these. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So I can use 7 more. 6, 7. I can use 7 more on that one, and I have 7 more left for this one. Okay. The purple, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I need 12. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I need 2 of these. Okay. So I still have a bunch of these left over, right? So that's good. So I should have enough. 1 strand each for the pair should be plenty. Okay. So let me I'm going to put those 3 millimeters there because I may or may not use them. And let me put the rest of these 6 mils. Gita, I don't know any place in Budapest, bead-wise, though I know when who was it? Grace went to Hungary, didn't she? And did some bead shopping over there. I think that video might still be up on our YouTube page. Maybe take a look at that. I think she went to Budapest, didn't she? I think so. It's been so long, I can't remember. All right, so now I'm ready. I'm going to start. This is going to be the strand that I'm tying with, right? Oh, she went to Turkey. Okay. That's right. She went to Turkey, not Hungary. No idea. Istanbul. That's right. I don't know why. I couldn't remember. It's been so long. I can't remember what I did yesterday. So here's this first bead. Let me get a little tighter in. Yeah, keep me posted. Let me know. I want to know how things are going. So here we go. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to tie this one on. So I'm going to go once and twice. Put that one aside. Where's my next one? I think it's this one. This one I skip putting a bead on, so I'm just going to tie it. 1 and 2, and you just kind of snug it up. There's going to be a little bit of blank space there, right? Like that. Then I put this one on. This one goes once. And see, they just kind of nestle in there. And twice. And to the side. This, I think, is the next strand in line. And the way that I decided on the colors, I used the red to start on the peony. And I use that fuchsia on the geisha color for this kind of monochromatic look, right? So, but you can certainly mix it up. 1 and 2. Is that right? Whoops. No, this one needed to have a bead on it. Let's just wiggle that. I didn't tighten it as much as I could have because I think when I was tightening it down, I'm like, I don't think that's right. There we go. Okay. So this one, I need a bead. Okay. There we go. I'm back on it. One. And 2. There we go. See that there? And now we'll do this one. That's a single, no bead. And tighten. That's the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3. 2 more of the red ones. 1. Slides up. And knotted in place underneath. It's a little wavy, but once I get kind of down here, it'll all equalize. So I'm not worried. That's what my first one looked like. And now this one with no bead. Like that. This one has a bead. This is the last of the red ones. Okay. Got one more pink strand here. Then I move to the lavender. Okay, so let's move to these guys. And I'll put on the fuchsia bead. This one is next. Is that one next? Yeah. That's, again, this first row. Just make sure you've got your strands in the right order. They want to twist a little bit. This one needs a bead. This silvered fuchsia, Janice, I wish we had it in a 6 mil as well. It's such a good color. It's really like a raspberry almost. I just love it. Here's this one. Is that right? No, this one, I knew that wasn't right, that the bead was displacing it. This is a plain one here. There we go, that sits correctly. Now the bead goes on this next one. And you don't have to make these as wide as I'm making them either. You kind of figure out, what works for you, right? So this one, and this, and then this last one goes here, like so. Okay, so now I'm going to pick this up, and I'm just going to kind of pull it out like this. Okay, so here we are. So now I'm ready to knot just a plain row across. That's this. And then I do another row of beads. Okay, does that make sense? So let me take a look. Let's go back to this one. Oh, Kathleen, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that Monday newsletter. I just wanted to share some words out. So thank you. I'm so glad it resonated. Makes me happy. These beads go over here because I'm not using those. Those are for the second earring. Now I need to make, this is all starting to look kind of crazy here. So let me see what we're going to do. I think I need to knot that bead into place, and let me do what I was going to do before, which is, let me get rid of those strands. Let me get rid of those strands. And I'm going to come in, let me clip this. Let me go back here. Sorry, I'm a little close. Sorry, I keep hitting the wrong button here. Bear with me here just a second. Apologies. Zoom that out. Let me do this. Let me do this. Okay. And I'm going to bring these two strands down so they're tight so I can macrame around them. Okay. Now I've got these two. Well, one thread is longer than the other because I didn't cut my other ones long enough, but I'll see. I'm going to bring these threads, I'm going to go around the back and tie a knot. If I can. There we go. So see there? There we go. This really needs to be, sorry, I can't move forward. I can't do it. If this thread isn't sitting right, you know me, I can't do it. So let me unknot this. That's what happens when I do a show, the danger of designing on the fly, right? But if it's not right, it's not right, right? So let me unknot that. Let me unknot this side. And that's the thing. I think, you know, to be honest, that is the mark of someone who has done a lot of jewelry making, right? It's like you're not worried about pulling something out, right? You're just like, well, that's how the cookie crumbles, right? I've got to go back, I've got to unknot or unstitch or whatever, and you just go in and you fix it, right? It's like if you sew a seam wrong, right? It's no big deal. You just have to rip it out and re-sew the seam. Same thing with this, right? We just have to unknot it and re-knot it. There we go. So I pulled that knot to the back and I knot it right here on the front. Okay. So now I'm going to add this other bead. So see, this isn't like moving around or anything, so that's good. Let me get my needle. I think I took the needle out of that bowl because I put beads in it. That wasn't smart. Here's the needle. Okay, this goes in. This goes on. That goes through. The second one goes on. Make sure I'm doing the right. Which were the ones that I knotted with? It's that one. And this one. Right? Is that it? I can't. Hang on. I need to get up on this so I can see what the heck I'm doing. So many threads. This one here. And that one there. That's what I knotted with. Okay. This one, these are below. That one and this one. I don't know. I hope it doesn't all fall apart at this point, but let's see. Okay. Now put that needle away. There we go. Slide that up. Now, this is when I come in, I clamp this down here, and I tie this thread and this thread around this one. Actually, I wanted to do it from behind. Maybe not. Maybe that's okay. Like that. Because then what I'll do is I'm going to tie these two together. And these two together to close them up. Whenever there's a gap, you can tie these two together, tie 2 threads together to close up the gap. There we go. Okay, so now I've got this. So now what I think I need is another row of stability there, another row of stability there. And then, you know what? I might bring all of these to the center and do a tassel, maybe. Okay, so let me, hold please. I think I need something little. Yes, 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 that's just what I need. One of those. And up. And I think if I just skip, right? So there's one on there. I'll skip this one, or, tie it plain. Then put one on here. Emily, I'm glad you're feeling better. We were going to have Emily on this week, but she's been a little under the weather. So we're going to have her, I forget the date we actually settled on. It's in about a month, I think. And the project that Emily has for us is going to be so fun. Right? Yeah, look at that. This is good, isn't it? Let me get a little tighter on here, okay? But again, folks, I am literally just making this up as I'm going along. So you can do the same thing. You see, I'm just doing a series of half hitches, right? Skipping one, offsetting these beads, using the sides of the beads to help me kind of taper down, right? Watch this broadcast a couple of times. And you'll get it. I'll do some more of this though. I'm kind of happy with the way this is coming out. I wasn't sure if this was all going to end in tears. I mean, I'm not finished, so you never know. You never know what's going to happen. But I just wasn't quite sure how I was going to pull this whole thing off, but I think it's working. Look at how these 3 millimeters just nestle in here. Plain. Oh, and friends, I'm sorry, I'm going over. That's just how this is. This has become kind of a long one, so thanks for sticking with me through this. If you need to go, I totally get it. You can watch the end on the replay. A little bit later. And this one goes here. But I am as eager as you are to see how this finishes. Okay, so here's that one. And I think I'm going to tie another one right here. These are the short strands that I didn't cut quite long enough. Come on, there we go. Okay, so there's that. Now I need to do that quickly on this side because I need to move symmetrically because now we're close to the end of this earring. So I need to move symmetrically on these, I think. Okay, so one of these goes on. Right? Yep, that's right. And this one, I always get a little backwards. This isn't quite tight enough, and I'm pulling it, I'm not untying it to loosen it. Oh, why am I doing that today? See, it didn't quite pull tight enough. Let me see if I can tighten it up. If not, but of course I pulled it tighter instead of stopping and loosening. I don't know what's the matter with me today. There it goes. Sometimes if you give it just a little bit of a wiggle like that, and you tell it that you're in charge, you can get that knot out. Though this is a little far from my focal range, but there it goes. Okay, good. This is which is the tying with and which one is the tying around? This one is the tying around. And that one is the tying with. Okay, there we go. Good. Now, right, that's that one. And there's this one. Okay, back on track. Keep that tying around one tight so you don't have that loosening issue. Put that aside, pull up your next one, put a bead on it. Yeah, it does kind of have a yoke kind of feeling to it too, kind of an RBG collar kind of feel, right? It's be great to wear at the Ukrainian family reunion this summer, especially if I did them in Ukrainian colors. That would be good. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll make a pair for the reunion. Always when we do our big family reunion for Chris's family, we have a big auction where we auction off things that people bring. And so I always make things to bring. Last time we went, I made, with the help of my mom, I made a really beautiful Canadian maple leaf quilt we made. And that was auctioned off. It was a big battle between who would get the quilt. But I always like bringing handmade items. I also bought some jewelry and stuff. So I'm going to do the same thing this year. But it would be fun to make a pair of these earrings for the family raffle. Raises funds for the next year's reunion. Bring this in. Just a couple more here. And then we'll assess. So what are you thinking? Are you thinking you can, do you think you would try this out? It looks complex, right? But it's not really. You're just mirroring. We've started with those lark's heads up top. We've tied just plain macrame knots from the left to the right center. and from the right to the left, stopping in the center. And then we just added beads, skipping one and then offsetting the other rows. So I think once you're in it, right? And I think somebody was mentioning, who's watching, trying out with some practice thread, right? Before you really get into using your Chinese knotting cord. That's a good way to start, you know, do a little practice run. These are our 40 millimeter hoops that I'm using. After the show, I will put up a shop the show on the home page, so you can see that. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 5. This is the last red one I need. But essentially you need a strand of 6 millimeter fire polish, a strand of 4 millimeter, strand of 4, a strand of 6, and a strand of 3. And that's it. And a hoop, right? And 2 spools of 0.4 Chinese knotting cord. Okay. Let's get that side to that side. There we go. That side to that side. Now, what I think I'm going to do is this. I don't know if this is kosher or not. Right? I don't know. Hang on. Let me zoom this back. And some of you that have a little more experience with macrame might be better at this than I am. But what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to experiment. I'm just going to see what happens. I think I was going to put another, but I don't think I am. I think what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to do an overhand. I want to reduce some of my threads. So I'm just going to come up and I'm going to tie that overhand knot there. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to tie these together. And then I think I'm going to thread burn them. What do you think about that? Is that how people do it? Anyone who's done this before? Because I literally have never done this. But I figure I'm pretty bead savvy, right? I could leave little tassels too. But let me knot these off first. Let me look at the comments. Anyone? No? No one's giving me any advice. All right, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go for it. See here, that overhand knot. Slide it up. Oops, that one's kind of low. So don't tighten it, Richburg. Just slide it up where it belongs and then tighten it. Okay. There we go. Slide it up. Pull on one. And then pull on the other. I'm going to do that same thing over here too to make them look neat. Hold one thread. tighten, hold the other thread, tighten. There we go. That looks better. Okay. Let's do it with these two. Slide that knot up. Split that thread. There we go. Now this one. Maybe sometimes I work a little better without the tweezers. Whoops. Set that time. Slide that knot up. There we go. There's some extra thread here. Push that knot up to tighten it. Pull on one. There it goes. Okay, now we're getting into where it's a little murky. But I want to do that with this one right here. Then I'm going to check the comments. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I was thinking about adding beads down there, but I don't know that I'm going to. I think I really like how that looks right there. Maybe I will add, let me see. I don't know. No, I think I'm just going to thread burn. I mean, let me cut. Let me just do it. I'm going to just trim. And if I don't like it, I can thread burn them up. You know, just be bold. Just do it. Who cares? Right? And that one. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay. I could do like little seed beads or something, but I might just end up thread burning. I'm not sure. But let me just bring this together. Did I? Yeah, that's even. Whoops. 1, 2. Those little tassels might look a little too raggedy for my taste, but I'm not sure. You can't really tell yet, right? 2. Going a little more at Kate speed here. 3. Gosh, how long have I been doing this? This is like the world's longest live broadcast. Sorry, folks, but it's not like we all don't have other things to do today, but I'm on a mission. I want to complete these, and I know you want me to as well, so I'm just going to go for it. The middle is still a little bit of a dog's breakfast, but I'm not going to worry about it quite yet. That's for like 3 minutes from me now to worry about. Tighten that up. Then I have one more right here. Okay. Now, as Janice says, let's give it a haircut. Let's see if I can make it match. Okay. Now, I agree. Dawn says she thinks I need one more of this 6mm red. So let's see where that 6mm red should go. It should go. I'm going to take these two right here. I think these need to come in the center a little bit tighter. There we go. I think like that. I think I need one more red bead there. You know, it's like a puzzle, right? We don't quite know. Where's my needle? Yeah, I think I'm going to come in and thread burn those tassels. They're looking a little jagged, but let me just finish this. There's one, and here's two, and I think I can finish all these off, but let me do this. All right. That goes there. Maybe if I knot that one more time, and I do the same on the other side over here. Okay, I think I've committed to thread burning all of these. Let's get them all in. Let me get a little tighter. Whoops, I keep hitting that. Hang on. All right, let's do it. Okay. Let's get the thread burner. Let's do it. I knew I was going to thread burn these. I should have just done it because now these little tiny pieces are a pain to hold on to. But hit the thread burner, give it a tap, thread burn them off. I'm going to hold it in my hand. Give it a tap. We want to be real careful. We don't want to burn past these knots. See, had I been doing this, put the thread on the inside. There we go. Slice that away. That little tiny piece of thread is kind of hard to deal with, but also you want to make sure you're using this in a well-ventilated area. But these are cauterizing off just fine. There we go. Good. Heat the thread burner, tap it down. Now this is polyester, nylon thread, right? So it seals itself really well. Get that in there. Come on. Heat and pull. Same thing here. Come in. Heat and pull. And now with this one, well, I'm going to do this side next. And I'm still not 100% sure about that center. But I do know I need to clean everything up visually so I can see what I'm doing for the very end. There's too many threads happening, right? It's too much. Come on. I'll come in and neaten those ends up a little bit later. See how I'm going in? I'm putting my threads inside the thread burner, pressing the button, and then pulling them through. You don't want to pull on the thread burner before it's heated, or else you're going to pull the tip of the thread burner out of your thread burner. And this way too, your thread burner you have some control. See here? I'm going right here. I'm heating and pulling. Whoops. I heated and it reattached. There we go. And now this one. Sorry, I'm not looking at any of the comments because I'm so focused on this. I'll check the comments in just a second. Heat and pull. All right. Whew. Yes, look at that silhouette. I love it. I love it. Okay. Then I'll come in. I need to really neaten these up, right? I need to tap on them. You could glue, but I think that the glue will be a little too much. On the ends, I think they need to be thread burned. There we go. Okay, so now all of this for the center. I want to get all of my strands together. Okay, these little short strands up here, I want to get rid of. Where is it? There it is. Here and here. Come on, there we go. I'm going to get rid of this one. And what else am I going to get rid of? This one, I think. Maybe I'll just bring it around and tie it. Hang on. No, I'm going to get rid of it. It's not sitting nicely. I think I need to tie it off right here before I get rid of it. So I'm going to tie it off here with the square knot. I don't know. I'm probably going to look back on this tutorial after I make the other one and go, really? But I don't know. I think it's pretty good. Okay, this one. That's where I attach the thread. There we go. And thread burn that sucker right there. And right there. Good. Yes. And now I'm getting rid of, which one was that? That was this one. This one and this one, I think. Whoops, sorry, I'm out of focus. Sorry about that. You just have to tackle one little section at a time, right? Don't let it overwhelm you. You know, something like this you could easily get overwhelmed by. But don't worry about the step that's 3 steps down the road, right? You've got to worry about what's right in front of you today. Okay? So now I'm going to secure this bead. We're going to finish this off. I think it looks cleanest. See, like that? This just, those threads right there just look messy mess. And I don't think it wants another fire polish. Let me just double check and make sure. But no, I'm just going to knock these off. I'm just going to get rid of these. I'm going to get rid of that one. And I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm sure you will improve on this. 100%. And I hope you do. But it's that nice, tight, square knot. And again, I could hit all of these with a little bit of GS Hypo at the end. Wouldn't hurt. Yeah, that's not bad. I don't know why I'm whispering. All right. I think I did it, Miranda. I'm exhausted. I bet you're exhausted too. Let me put it in my ear. I think it works. Now I just have to make the second one and take a photo. All right. Yeah, and I just have to neaten. I just have to come in with the thread burner, make sure that all of these knots look nice and that they're all down, but I think that's good. I think maybe I'll just thread burn this too, because those 2 little lone pieces look kind of lame. There we go. Look at how pretty it is. It is kind of moth-like. Let me get my ear. Let me get me. Here we go. Let's put it in. Oh yeah, come on. Look at that. Can you see it?
Very cute.
What do you think?
Loves.
Loves. And it's really light. It's super light. Oh, when I do a heavy sigh. That's funny, Margaret. You know my Yeah, look at, oh no, it's on this side. Whoops, fell out of my ear. I don't think I closed it all the way. Hang on. Let me pick it up. It survived the great drop, so that's good. 5-second roll. 5-second roll. Here we go. Yeah. Am I getting it in right? Hang on. Hang on, I need to put on my glasses so I can see this. Hold, please. Oh, that's what happened. I think I bent this in just a little bit. I need to bend it back. There we go. Oh, that looks right. Okay. Because I am going to get this on my ear. Hang on. Making a minor adjustment. Okay. There we go. That's in. Ah, yeah. This is not bad. Not bad at all. So, my friends, I know I am in a red and pink mood too. I will put these up. Those look pretty darn good on, if I do say so myself. I told you I was going to be sparkly. And then I'm just wearing a plain hoop over here. So I will put up a shop the show after this. Then I'll go get some lunch. This was epic. I'm tired. It was literally a 2-hour show. Sorry, everybody. I know you've got things to do. But I'm pretty happy with it. It was epic. I hope you try this out. I mean, this was just kind of an exercise in sticking with it. Know what you know, right? You know how to do those half hitches, right? And just look at it spatially. I'm going to take it off my ear and I will put it so you can take one screenshot of this so it looks nice on the let me put it here. Let me put my glasses on so I can see. And I'll show you. You can definitely see the front and the back of this thing. So here is the back. Okay. Whoops, I keep hitting the wrong thing here. Sorry. Here's the back, right? You can see the knots are a little different. This is definitely the front, right? So that's there. Here's the 3mm. This one's working again over here. Where's my little bits? And we'll put all of this out for the upcoming blue. The 3mm is the brand new maroon 3mm that we just launched. It's the maroon. For this one, I think I'm going to do these, that blue, and that 3mm. Okay, so I think that's ready. That is ready for screenshot. Okay, I think that's ready. I'll have a better photo and I'll put them up for you. Whoops. No wonder this looks a little wonky. My camera's off. There we are. So that's it. So, my friends, if you're still here, after all of this. This is kind of, yeah, it looks a little orangey on the broadcast, but it is definitely maroon. It's kind of a light maroon, but it's like a lighter maroon burgundy kind of color. The 6 mil is that Halo Cardinal, so that one's a little more orange. Okay. I can't wait to see what you make with this. I mean, this looks cool just like this, right? Make them long. You can cut this fringe, just do it all the way across, cut the fringe like that, and just have like maybe a fire polish there at the bottom. That would also look good. Just use this as your jumping off point, my friends. I am now giving you permission to just play around and experiment. Okay? As a reminder, don't forget, you can find us all over social. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification button if you are watching us on YouTube. Tag us over on Instagram so we can repost what it is you make. Go to our Pinterest pages to find a bunch of inspiration. Hit us up at beadshop.com, anywhere online. And of course, questions, comments, anything you want to convey to us, email us at info@beadshop.com. All right, my friends, it's going to take me till Friday to recuperate from this live broadcast. So thank you so much for sticking with me. It was so fun creating with you today. Hang in there, my friends, and I will see you on Friday. Thanks so much, all. Talk to you soon.